Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that wherever and whenever you are listening to this recording, that you're remembering to look at the signs all around you. It could be the master numbers, 333 or 222 or 444, 1111. Tomorrow we're going to have a big eclipse, solar eclipse in the sky. It'll probably be a partial eclipse visible in the northern hemisphere. Where I live, it's going to be a full solar eclipse. I'm hoping I'll get to see that. Hope I'll remember it, but in time to run outside and look up, stare directly into the sun. No, wait, don't do that. Remember to use like a piece of, what is that? It's not tin foil. That would blind you. That other stuff. Myanmar? No, that's a country. That's a country that's having some problems. Pray for Myanmar. Mylar, that's it. I knew it was in that filing cabinet in my brain that had that word in it. Okay. So, sorry, sometimes my brain just has too many tabs open. Yeah, so look at the sign. Look at the signs in the sky. Sometimes you get numbers or letters real quick in the clouds. Sometimes it's meant only for you. By the time you go, hey, look up, look at that cloud, and by the time the person moves their head, cloud's gone, dissipated. It was only for you. One time I was at Disneyland and I was on a date with this boy that I had loved for years, and I was like junior high. I was like 13, but I had loved him for years since I was like in third grade or fourth grade. Oh man, it was like for 4 whole years. Oh my God, it just was like half of my life or something. Third of my life, I loved this guy. And we were walking at Disneyland, and he was with his best friend, who's one of my friends still to this very day, Eric. And Paul was my date, and Eric had his girlfriend with him. And his bird flew by and crapped on my date's shoulder. And he's all, gross. And his friend Eric was like, oh, that's good luck, man. Oh, good for you. Oh, you're so lucky. And he goes, yeah, I feel really lucky. But that could be a sign too. My oldest one had a birthday when, she was 10 years old. My neighbor decided to throw a big party. He's like, oh, I love birthdays and I love kids. Let's do it. Let's have a big party. So all the Arabs came over and they didn't know how to sing happy birthday. So we had to teach them the happy birthday song in English. And that was super fun for them. And they got to see what is it like, to have a birthday party in the United States. So it was super fun. But his bird was out of the cage and he was making us dinner first. He said, you cannot have your cake until you have the dinner first. I'm making you dinner. And my little, he's my older son now, but he was still a little girl at the time. And she was like, oh, she was so shy and she was so quiet then. And she's like, oh, Mom, this is so embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, but he loves you so much. It's like they've kind of adopted us as their family. All these guys from Tarout, Saudi Arabia. And I think this is a good experience for them. And they get to learn about our traditions and customs too. She's like, all right, fine. I mean, I went out and bought the candles because they didn't know about the candles. They're like, what? So we did the whole thing. It was super fun. It was a fun cultural exchange. And she got some presents out of it, and some good cake and some good food. And I'm like, it's okay. In like an hour, you could go home. And she's like, all right, fine. So while she's sitting there, while we're waiting for the dinner, his white cockatoo came over. Cockatiel. Oh my God. See, what's up with my files are all jumbled. Okay. I think it's a cockatiel, the bird with the yellow, on the top of the head, and they're a white bird, and they have white and yellow, crest. So the bird walks over and bit her really hard on the finger, and she's like, ow, and her finger was bleeding, and we were like, oh my god, let's get you under some water. She's like, I told you I shouldn't be here. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. I felt so bad. And we got ice, and we're putting ice on it, and our friend came over, and she was from mainland China, and she was studying, and she was dating one of the guys. And she was like, oh my God, it's your birthday and a bird bit you and drew blood? That is a huge sign of good luck in my country, in China. And I just laughed so hard. I'm like, I don't know to this day if she was making that up to make my kid feel better or if that's true. I mean, it might just be from her little district or in her family, or maybe somewhere along the line, one of her little cousins got bit or something. But she's like, oh my God, you're so lucky that bird bit you. Wow. That is you could have a really good life. And my kid just kind of looked at her, and she's all, huh. I didn't believe that for a second, but she's all, oh, it's so nice of you to say so, you know. I think later she's like, Mom, I think she's full of crap. I'm like, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe, you know. But I think he grew up he's going to be a rock star. I have a feeling. I really feel like his calling when he chooses to accept it, because he's brilliant. He just recorded another song the other day. So I don't know. He doesn't get that talent from me. That's for darn sure. So I am recording this extremely late because I decided to take a shower. While I was in the shower, I decided to turn it into a bath. I don't know if I was abducted or fell asleep, but 3 hours later, I feel great. I'm sorry about that, guys. I literally thought it was an hour. I lose track of time so easily. But, oh, I was having a conversation with God about this show tonight, and I'm going to channel. And earlier in the day, God said, you're going to channel tonight, so don't worry about researching. It's just a channel show. All right, cool. And then about an hour later, I'm all, oh, yeah, God, so am I going to channel an ET being? No. All right. Am I going to channel an angel? No. All right. And then I just kind of left it at that. And then I was taking the shower, getting ready for the show, or bath, getting ready for the show. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Who am I going to channel tonight? Is it going to be a spiritual master? He's like, yes. I go, oh, is it Jesus? And he's like, yeah, yes. I'm like, oh, cool. So, but I was having fun conversations with God. I just kind of got carried away with the time there. My friend from the Andromedan galaxy has been visiting me a couple times a day just to check in on me. And it's been nice to have visitors, even if I can't see them. Last night, I was visited by angels. And they reminded me that I used to, when I was a kid, know angelic light language. And I'm all, oh, cool. Are you here to give me a download right now? And it was like 4 or 5 angels, a bunch of angels. Usually I only have my guardian angel with me. And I was kind of like laying down, and I had my feet sticking out over the edge of the bed, and I kind of felt not someone grabbed my feet, but I felt an energy at the bottom of my feet, and I kind of like freaked out a little bit. I sat up, I'm like, are you my guardian angel? And I got a kinesiology. I used my finger testing, muscle testing. I got a yes. I'm like, okay, that's good. You're my angel. So what's up? And then all of a sudden I felt the presence of 4 other angels. And I don't know how many angels were here, but they gave me light language, and they reminded me that when I was a little girl, like 2 or 3, they gave me the light language then, but then it came dormant when I was about 5 years old. So it was a very interesting experience last night. And so that will round me up to 8 light languages that I've had downloaded into me in the past year. So freaky. And I was trying to figure them out yesterday. I was like trying to write the list, and I got it down to, it's Orion, Sirian, Andromedan, Arcturian, Lyran, Cetacean, Angelic, and Dragon light language. Those are the light languages I've been given. And I've listened to the downloads of fairies and elven, but I don't have those. And light language, I don't know. I'm going to have to do a show on this. It's really strange. I might have to have somebody who is very good at speaking in light language. And actually, I think I know exactly who I'm going to do. She's who I'm going to invite. She is from Minnesota, and I love her accent. Her accent is very, very thick Minnesota accent. She's adorable. She might even be Canadian. Canadian and Minnesota accents are very similar. But she has light language, and she's very sweet person. She and her sister, they draw out these posters and art of light language for specific things, and it's really cool and impressive. And come to think about, my oldest kid always had languages he wrote in. He had a diary he wrote in a language he created, he said. Now I'm wondering if it's not light language, because it looked pretty light language-ish. But I don't know. I don't feel comfortable yet talking in the light languages. They don't come through me as much. The first time I got a Lyran light language downloaded, and I woke up speaking in the light language. That's what woke me up, was that I was already speaking in that language. And I was speaking like pretty rapidly and pretty like fluently. And when I kind of woke up a little more, I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. But I know that I felt better, and it raised my vibration. So I don't know. I'm going to have to do a show on this, because it's very weird and mysterious. Right up our alley. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So I decided to look again in my email to see if the government had reached me about my visa situation. And what happened was, last week I looked on Thursday, and I couldn't find anything. And I thought, well, I'll look through my email again, and I will look on, today, Monday, because, maybe I'll give them a couple more days, because it's been like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. So I guess last Thursday, right after I checked, that's when they sent me the email. And they said I have 10 days to show up in their office and give them paperwork that they already have. They said that they don't have copies of my valid passport with my valid stamp in it. Yeah, I know, because my passport was valid when it was stamped, and then 6 months later expired. I got a new passport without a stamp, because it took 11 months for them to have an appointment for me. So if I get deported now, it's going to be on a technicality that they didn't. It's so weird. I don't think they're going to deport us, to be honest. But then they said, you have 10 days or your visa application will be withdrawn. And I'm like, what? Really? I paid $100 for this. Why would I just let it go now? Oh, so guys, guess what? I got to hop a bus tomorrow because now I can't afford to fly after the $788 fine. And now I've got to pay $800 if this is even my appointment. That's what's freaky. They need more paperwork, and then they're going to maybe set me up for the following week again. I don't have money to stay in Quito for a week or 2 or 3 while waiting for them to maybe possibly kind of want to send me an email. Yeah, I have so much compassion for people that go to any foreign country and try to get even a temporary residency, because this just bites, man. Like my friend Jonathan says, who I love very dearly, he says, reality bites. He's always quoting that movie. He always thought that was the coolest saying ever, because it's totally true. It happens. Reality bites, man. I heard from him today. So glad to hear from him. He finally said, okay, look, I'm going to start saving money. I'm going to fly down there and see you because I miss you. I'm like, okay, darn it. He's from Bogota and he's in university there and he's full-time. He has he has 2 or 3 businesses he's running. Plus he has a full-time job and full-time education, going back to university. So he's an overachiever out of nowhere. And his, the mother to his baby, they got pregnant. They're teenagers. And his baby is now the same age as my kid. He's 1 year younger than my kid. He's about to turn 16. My kid's about to turn 17. So his son is now finally living with his mom after 14 years. So for 2 years they've been living. And she finally got her stuff together and she has a husband and she has a new baby. So on his WhatsApp, there's always like this little pictures of him holding the baby. I'm like, oh my God, that is so adorable. But they're all very close. I mean, just people in Bogota are like that. They're so, at least the ones I have met, people in Bogota are so loving and so open-minded and so accepting of one another. Even if they're exes, I've noticed that out of all the places I've been, that is one of the only places I've noticed that people are very open-minded about love and relationships and their sexuality. It's almost like the 1970s in California, the way I imagined it was. I mean, I was just like 3 and 4, in the early 1970s, but it's kind of like that energy of, it's cool. I don't really want a relationship right now. Let's keep it open and casual, and you could be with whoever you want, and I'll be happy for you. That kind of energy. I don't know. It's so sweet. And, my friend wasn't really in love with her. It was like the first time either one of them had done anything, the very first time, and they got pregnant. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's like so sad. Like, it's like the biggest nightmare. And to live in a country where abortion is not legal, But he said he wouldn't have changed his life for the world. And he's very close with his son. And his son is very smart. And his son sent me this really amazing paper he wrote in English. And he wanted me to make sure his grammar was correct because he was trying to get into some exchange program or something in the United States. I'm like, oh, sweetie, of course. He's like my extended son, There's people I've met that they just... you know them for a day or two, and then boom, that's my family forever. And, all of you listening, you guys are all my family too, Like some of the people I've met in South America are so amazing. I met a family that lives on the edge of Lake Titicaca. Some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. Like, wow, just to see people that can be like 50 years old and be... innocent like little kids, not naive, but just maintain that love and that beauty and that innocence from childhood that never went away. Now, I'm not talking Lima, Peru. I'm talking, on the lake in Puno, Lake Titicaca. I mean, I've met some very spiritually open people, like people that are just so clear, and that light in their eyes is not new because they had to meditate for 10 years. It's a light that was probably there the day they were born and has never gone away. And it's only gotten brighter. Those are the kind of people I have met in Puno, you know, and in Bogota. Most of the people I met in Bogota were had really bad experiences, really hard experiences, just sad or bad, or, you know, like being abused as kids, or being abused not even by their own parents but by other people in the neighborhood, or just horrible things. And yet the people were so compassionate and loving, and some of the sweetest people I'd ever met in my life were in Bogota, Colombia. I remember I'd met an American who was so weird. I just finished writing my screenplay, and then I was hopping on a plane to go to Colombia with my kids, and there's this really long line, and this gorgeous man walks up, just so happens to be a movie director. I mean, what? It was the weirdest thing. We had I think we went to Texas and then had a layover to Florida, or we went maybe to Florida. No, I think we went to Florida, and then we had a layover for like 3 or 4 hours, and then we had to get in line again to get on the plane to Colombia. And I met him in Florida, and the line was enormous. And this guy was blonde, and my kids are blonde. So for him, he saw a perfect opportunity, and he came up to me, and he was so beautiful, and I was stunned. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so good looking. And he kind of put his arm around my shoulder, and he kind of said, hey, babe. And then he leaned in. He goes, do you mind if I cut in line with you? You look friendly enough. I'm all, what? I'm like, sure, why not? He's all, it's okay if I act like I'm your husband, just so I don't have to wait in this line. I'm like, oh my God. I'm all, sure, babe. Oh my God. But he was a movie director, and I just finished my movie. I'm like, oh my God, this is a sign from God. This is a sign. It's one of the things I was telling you about just a few minutes ago. Watch out for those signs. So we were in Medellin, and we stayed at different places, so I didn't see him the whole time, and he was only there for a week, and then he went to Bogota, and he wrote to me an email, and he's like, okay, look, this is the deal. Don't even bother going to Bogota. It is like a horrible place. There's like dog crap on the sidewalk everywhere. People don't clean up after themselves. It's so dirty. It's a lot of drugs, a lot of crime, a lot of yuck. He's like, I'm disgusted. I'm coming back to Medellin because I want to invest and buy a property in Medellin instead. I'm like, well, I'm finding Medellin to be extremely hot. My kid was almost kidnapped twice. There's a lot of freaky stuff here. There's hookers walking around everywhere. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just, I put my kid in school there, and he said that there were drugs everywhere. There's like old roaches of like the ends of marijuana joints, cannabis joints. There's like so many piles of them around the school, the high school, the Catholic high school. There's so many joints piled around that they were like catching mold, and there's like covered in spider webs, like they'd been there for years. And it was like the whole school grounds was like that. And my son was like, I can't believe this school. It's like crazy. People like excuse themselves in class and go smoke weed or have sex in the bathroom. It's like, the school was totally out of control, and he only went to school for 2 months there. And while he was there, he got to vote for the president. Because if you're in school, everyone, all the citizens, no matter what your age, you get to vote for the president. Crazy, right? I was like, oh, well, it was a fun experience, and you learned a lot about the culture, and your school didn't start till 1 in the afternoon, so it was perfect hours for you. You're a teenager, you got to sleep in. It was pretty neat, He's like, yeah, it was actually a really good experience. And, I think if I went back there as an adult, I'm going to meet people that I went to school with, and it's going to be weird. I went to school with you for a while. So anyway, but this guy had warned me off, Bogota. I'm like, well, I'm going to go, and I'm only going to spend 2 weeks there based on what he said. And I got there, and I got robbed right away. So I ended up spending it like 3 months there, but because a lot of logistics, and I ended up getting very sick. And then I had to bring my lawyer in, and then I had a hearing, and then it was like 6 weeks away. It was the whole thing. It was a whole day. I got deported. I got a salvoconducto there, which is like if you are a refugee or you're seeking asylum. Politically, they give those to those people. So they kind of gave me that. It was very strange. So it was like safe passage. They didn't deport me back to my country. They just allowed me to go on to a different country. So freaking weird. But anyway, I had a good lawyer. But all the people I met during I just sat there and healed people every single day. That was my job. It's like God put me in that situation, and I'm grateful for every moment, even when I thought we were going to die and starve to death, and people handed us food. They knew our situation. We never asked, not once, not once. I said, you know what? We're going to ask God to help us, and we're going to help ourselves when we can, but we're going to ask God to help us. And you know what? Every day someone gave us food. Every single day. And that's how I met my friend Jordan. He made a big, huge pot of stew. And he said, oh, yeah, here. And he kind of made some kind of statement like, something told me, or my higher guidance told me you guys needed food right now. And he didn't even know what happened to us. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And he's living here in Ecuador, and he married a woman. And I went to their wedding, and I know his whole family now, and we're very good friends. We met in Colombia, and then we met up in Peru, and now we met in Ecuador again, and now we're very good friends. I love his whole family, like they're my extended spiritual family, like you guys. Very cool people, very nice, very sweet people. But, oh man, but yeah, Bogota was a crazy place. I mean, the guy was right. There was dog crap on the sidewalks. There were dogs everywhere. There were drugs everywhere, but the people were so sweet. I don't think in my life I've ever met just people that had been so broken and so injured and been put in such horrible, horrible, horrible positions, and then turn around to be so sweet. So loving, so kind, and then my Arab friends back in Chico were very sweet, very loving, and very kind, but also very naive and very inexperienced with practically every aspect of life in the rest of the world. And they were there to get the experience, which is very cool. They ended up being my neighbor, and I ended up telling them everything they wanted to know. Told them a couple things that they probably shouldn't have known. I should have kind of preserved their innocence in some ways. Like they'd come to me and go, okay, in this song, Tupac Shakur says this word, and we want to know what this means. Oh, well, guys, this is what booty can mean. They're like, yeah, when they say shake your booty, does this mean like some kind of a purse that a man carries around with money in it? We've been trying to figure this one out. I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to hug each and every one of them and kiss them all on the forehead. Sweetest people in the whole wide world. Naive, so naive and so sweet. And now they're all grown up, and they're all married now too. So very cool. I've had some cool experiences. I'm grateful to God for the experiences I've had. And we're about to have another one when we have Brother Yeshua come. And I'm going to channel him tonight. Some of you have heard of him as Jesus. may have heard that name once or twice in your life. In Spanish, he's known as Jesucristo. In India, he's known as Sananda. But first, I'm going to let you guys know, Ascension Symptoms Scale, we're at 98. That's cool. I'll take it. It makes me happy. You know, we're still growing and learning, but it's a little bit eased up from yesterday. That's good. I mean, I'm getting ready to go back to the government tomorrow. Late tomorrow night, I've decided to take the night and take a bus. I can't afford to fly anymore. So we're going to take the $12 each. $12 for like a 10-hour bus ride. It's not a bad deal. This would have been $200 in the States, I think. But, yeah, so we're just going to go and sleep on the bus. And the bus makes less stops at night than during the day and saves me a night in a hotel, hostel, whatever. And the bus station is 5 minutes to the government building where we need to be at. So I think we're going to take a bus all overnight and sleep on the bus, get off the bus, go have breakfast somewhere, and go to the government building by 9 or 10 in the morning. That's my plan. I hope I'm awake enough for the appointment, but I'm hoping this can all happen. I hope it all can work out. But I'm going to do that, and then I've talked my kid into staying one night, and if we don't have to go back to the government the next day, maybe we could go up to Otavalo, to the marketplace, and finally hit the Inti Raymi ceremony that's going on in the marketplace. If we're able to do that, I will try to record something of the marketplace for you guys so you can hear the sounds of the 4,000-year-old world's oldest marketplace. I know I've been talking about this for weeks and just didn't work out last time. I'm hoping this time it will. God willing, and the creeks don't rise. So I'm going to read to you now the Schumann Resonance. Did I already read this? I can't even remember. Oh my God. 1700 UTC time. Today we only had 7 isolated peaks. The strongest was at 6:30 a.m. UTC and reached 22 hertz. There's a sign, master number 22. And what comes after 23? What comes after 22? 23. Lesson 23 in A Course in Miracles. You know, weren't we at 21 yesterday and then I read lesson 22? That would be weird. And now I can't remember. Literally, I was in the bathtub for like 3 hours. I think I fell asleep and I didn't even get the pruny hands. And my hands turned blue and I don't know what happened. Like blue, and I don't know if I've seen energy around my hands. My fingernails weren't blue, so it wasn't like I was losing oxygen. But my forearms and my hands were blue, like Arcturian blue. I don't know what that was about. But now that I'm looking at my hands after I've been in the bathtub, I've noticed that I look very much like my hands are crystalline structure. I know my DNA is changing. Look at your hands, guys. Are they shiny? Are they really, really shiny? That's because we're becoming crystalline based. What were we before? We're not silicon based. What are we before? Carbon based. Yeah, that's it. Well, what happens when you put carbon under a lot of heat and a lot of pressure? Comes out like a diamond. And we're coming out like crystals or diamonds, I guess. We're becoming diamond to people. That's okay with me. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. All right. Lesson 23. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. Gonna read that again. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. So, You should read the whole lesson if you're interested in A Course in Miracles. acim.org is free. And there are apps for free. You can start taking the lessons anytime. And it is, ironically enough, Brother Yeshua, Jesus, was channeled through a woman who was raised Jewish, but she was an atheist and a scientist. And one day she sat down to write the great American novel, and what came out was A Course in Miracles instead, because she channeled Jesus. After that, of course, she became spiritual, and she not only took the lessons, she literally typed the lessons as they were dictated to her from Jesus, from beyond the grave. And I don't know, maybe he didn't die, because remember, he ascended. But, it's possible. They found his tomb and he wasn't in it. I think he just ascended all the way and didn't have to die. I mean, there are rumors in the Masters of the Far East books, the life and teachings of Masters of the Far East by Bayard Spalding. They met Jesus. He was there in the Himalaya mountains. He just appeared out of nowhere with Mother Mary and Buddha and a bunch of spiritual masters. Yay, we're going to see them, guys, physically in our reality soon. Oh my God, this is so much. We're working hard, man. I'm glad about it. Working hard and hard and hard. All right, so I'm going to try to this is very late. I recorded 45 minutes and I ended up ranting about a few things. And I talked about a couple things that weren't, I don't know, the way I was saying it wasn't low vibration, but the energy of what I was talking about was a little bit low vibration. So I had to I did like 48 minutes. I went, oh God, I can't do this. And I deleted the whole thing and started over. So sorry about this being super late. Not only did I get abducted or fall asleep in the bathtub, I think I might have been abducted because I didn't get the wrinkles on my fingers. Maybe we don't get that anymore now that we're ascending. You guys, do this as an experiment. Go take a bath for 2 hours. And if you don't wrinkle up, let me know. If you don't turn into a prune, you know what I mean? When you get pruny fingers and hands. I don't know what happened. I mean, I started looking blue. I don't know if it was because I was cold. I don't look blue now. But I do look my skin looks different. It looks like I put oil on my skin, but I did not. Oh, it's so strange. Oh, it's kind of freaking me out, actually. But I like it. I'm just going to trust. I trust God. What about you? Do you guys trust God? Just trust God. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to take a quick break for about 1.5 minutes. And when I come back, I'm going to be channeling Brother Yeshua. I don't have any questions written down for him. He said he's just going to talk to us. So we're going to see what that's all about. I'll be right back, guys. If you're listening to this, you obviously like podcasts, and you probably like music too. Long walks on the beach, romantic dancing under the stars, and oh wait, we're not doing that right now. On Spotify, you can listen to all of that in one place for free, and you don't even need a premium account, which is cool. Free is always good. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. Download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, including your long romantic walks on the beach. Also, one thing I love about Spotify is that you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends via Spotify's integrations with the social platforms like Instagram. So that makes it really, really versatile. Just search for Metaphysical Soul Speak on the Spotify app or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. And follow me, of course, don't forget, so that you'll never again miss an episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak. Spotify is the world's leading music streaming service, and now it can be your go-to for podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for supporting Metaphysical Soul Speak on Spotify. All right, guys, I'm here with Brother Yeshua. While I was connecting and getting anchored in with him, I had my eyes closed and I saw this face right in front of my face. And do you remember that movie with Groot in it, the tree guy? He was, I don't know, they were all in jail. One of the guys was from the 1970s in the United States, and he's always listening to his cassette tapes, and it's the Alien show. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I saw a spirit that looked like the baby Groot, or like Groot, the grown Groot. And I'm like, hi, you're a spirit. And I'm like, are you a tree spirit? And he said, yeah. And he put his branches around me and he just hugged me. And I said, oh no, you need help. You died. And he said, yeah. And he traveled all the way here from Chico. He is one of the oak trees that I hugged, and I gave him love, and he remembered me when he died. And he just came to me right now, and I had to release him to the light. And I'm kind of weepy, a little sad about it. I mean, he had so much love and heartfelt energy for me that I hugged the trees. I didn't know if they knew I was there or not. I guess they did know. So now you know. The more you know. Imagine the rainbow. So yeah, like crazy, right? That I did not expect. Usually when I connect to a spirit that wants to come through me, and by spirit I mean, like usually spiritual masters or sometimes angels and sometimes ET contacts, I did not expect a tree spirit. Literally, that was the last thing I expected, and I'm so grateful that I just had that experience. I'm actually drying my eyes right now. It's just, it was so sad because I loved that tree. Only one tree in that park I wasn't fond of. I call him the kite-eating tree, and he ate my kid's kite. They wanted me to fly it. They had flown it for a while and they got tired. Their arms were tired because the day was so windy. I had no idea how much exercise flying a kite was, especially on a super windy day, to keep it up and keep it from falling down. And my husband and I took the kids out on a blustery day, and I got that kite so freaking high in the sky that it disappeared. We couldn't see it. It was out of our range of sight. And that's when the clouds rolled in, and that's when we heard the thunder, and we started to see distant lightning. I'm like, oh my God, reel in the kite. We don't need to give him a demonstration of Benjamin Franklin all over again. Oh my God, reel in the kite. So we were like scrambling to reel in the kite, and finally we could see it again. It was like such a tiny speck that birds way up in the sky were bigger than our kite. That's how far away it was. We were so proud that we were able to fly it so high, but we got it all the way down, where we could see it. We're managing it. Like if we could just clear that one tree, and boom, it took a nosedive into the tree and disappeared. And it was an oak tree. I mean, if you guys have ever seen an oak tree, you know it's not like a very bushy tree. You could see through all the branches. I swear to God, to this very day, that tree ate the kite. Ate it. We had to cut the line. We're like, oh, man. So we had to keep reeling in the line as much as we could and walked all the way over the tree because we were like far on the opposite end of a baseball diamond. It was like at the end of the baseball field, and we were at the far end of the baseball field, and it went into the tree. That's how far away the kite was. And the tree was a 200-foot tall tree. So you guys do the math. I don't know. It's too late for me to do the math. I mean, I didn't realize. I mean, so like there's probably only one tree that understands that I'm a little peeved at it, even to this very day, for eating my kid's kite. It was the curmudgeon tree of all the trees. But I'm a tree hugging liberal. What do you want from me? I mean, it's just in my nature. My mom was a hippie, an original hippie who lived on Haight-Ashbury in Berkeley and rolled joints for a living. I mean, that's how she paid her rent. And she had a flop house. You could spend the night here for $1 and I'll roll your joints for $1. And she came up with her rent every month with that schematic. But I can't believe this tree spirit just came to me right now. So precious, right? And he put his branches around me and it felt scratchy. Like the energy was prickly and scratchy, the way it is when you actually hug a real oak tree. Their bark is very, there's a lot of grooves in it. They're very groovy trees. Speaking of the 1960s. But, yeah, it was so touching. I had no idea. Now I'm like kind of reeling from that. Like, wow. And right now I have 5 Arcturians in the room with me. They said they're not going to be channeled tonight. They just want to observe my technique for channeling, for telepathic channeling, to see if there's anything that they can tell me. Hints, tips, tricks, reminders, I don't know. Even though I say I'm alone in my room, I'm never, very, very rarely alone in my room. Usually I have like polar bear spirits or, animal spirits stopping by and kicking it for a couple days before they move on to heaven. If they knew me in heaven, they want to hang out with me for a day or two and then they go. But I didn't know that when you hug a tree, it knows. You guys, go hug trees. Tell them how much you love them. They know. The spirit of the tree knows. I had no idea that was going to happen. All right. I am here and I am connected to Sananda, Jesus, Jesucristo, Yeshua. I call him brother, or brother Yeshua. We're going to call this episode Master Jesus Speaks to the Ascending Ones. He said it seemed appropriate. Some people might not know the name Yeshua, so we want to reach as many people as possible with this message. So I have no idea what he's going to say. So, excuse me. Okay, brother, you may speak now. Okay. All right. Greetings to my fellow brethren. I am Yeshua. You have known me by many names, as my little sister has mentioned. That's his nickname for me, guys. He's always called me little sister. We knew each other when he was alive. I was in his life then, and I was his cousin, but he called me little sister, right? Is that correct? Yes, he says yes. Okay. Yes, he says, indeed. Indeed it is I. I come to you today with a message of light and hope. For you are on the very brink and precipice, closer than ever before, to take the leap of faith in the great precipice before you. Many times when you think about this metaphor, you think that there is a big not cavern, not cave, what is this? Canyon, okay. Sorry guys, filing cabinet issue again. You guys tend to have a visual of a canyon, such as the Grand Canyon before you, when you hear the word precipice. And you fancy yourselves taking a leap and plummeting to your death. Yeah, that's what we think about, brother, usually. When we hear take a leap of faith, that's usually what well, okay, maybe me, I don't know. He says, no, quite a few people secretly think that, and then they nod their head in succession and they say, oh yeah, leaps of faith, that's good. Even though it's usually accompanied by a secret fear that nobody ever speaks of. I'm telling you now, when you take the leap of faith, there is no canyon before you. And you can only be lifted and boosted up. Energetically speaking, of course. There will be the 3 days of darkness. You should not fear at this time, because fear will not exist. Most of you will be in a form of stasis, not induced by aliens or extraterrestrials or any of the other words I hear buzzing about in your mind. Yes, I can see into the future, and I understand what many of you are going to think when you hear these words. Only you are bound by time and space, not for long. I am no longer bound by time and space, so I can know what will be in your thoughts, technically, before you ever think these thoughts. It's a little bit like playing telephone by listening to the answering machines of your mind from the future. And to some of you, you might consider that I'm cheating a little bit. But such is the ways of a master when need be, to make use of the little tricks, parlor tricks, some of you might call them. That's okay. These are going to be your tricks too. If you don't hear them from me, who are you going to learn them from? We love you, all of us on the other side of the Ascension platform. Boy, we love you. So close to our chest we keep you. You're always in our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers. You're directly in the evening or the eventide. You're in the evening of the same night in which you are going to leap into the Great Divide, if you will. Because there will be indeed a division in humanity in the way that those who wish to remain asleep, they get to push their alarm button and they get reset. They're resetting the alarm. In their version of the world, there will have been a great cataclysm in which you all went away, disappeared. There will be various explanations. They will hurt for a time, but do not weep for them. We will send them soothing balm of our energy. We will send them love, as we know you will too. These people will be okay, but they're going to remain asleep for a good long time yet more. Even though God is closing down this schematic, He does not wish to rush anybody in their process from which He set them upon. Like He set I say that wrong, guys. Sorry about that. He does not want to upset them from a process that He had set them on in the beginning. He put them on this path, as He put you on this path and this journey. And we could call you the star pupils because you woke up, or you're waking up. You might have woken up 26 years ago. You might have woken up 26 minutes ago. Either way, you are a star pupil. If you're listening to this message, chances are you are a star pupil. If you are asleep, you didn't even get this far into the message, so we're not even going to worry about that. We are not to label or judge those that need to continue for many more years in the 3D world. We're not going to label or judge them. We're not going to call them good or stupid or bad. We don't need to name call. People that are asleep are merely sleeping. No more than you would call a baby stupid for not being awake. How silly is that, right? So don't be angry or upset. If you start to cast your pearls and they are before swine, they're just the sleeping people. They'll probably trample your pearls though, so best pick them up and put them back in your purse or your bag. Save your pearls for those who will listen to your pearls of wisdom. The best we can do at this point is hope for the best for everybody, for all of humanity. Have love and compassion for those who are insane or criminals or people who have not gotten out of their own way, people who have not gotten out of their own pain, people who have not gotten out of causing others pain, or not being able to connect with empathy and compassion. So even if they are causing others pain, they don't even know. They're not even aware of it. They're still asleep. Just like a sleeping person that is in the same bed as you might roll over and kick you in their sleep. They're not aware of the pain they caused you. They don't know. They don't have a care in the world because they're asleep. Of course, when that happens to you, you wake up, you're angry. And you're angry at a sleeping person. That doesn't make much sense, does it? And yet, you go about your days and your weeks and your years and your lifetimes judging sleeping people. Doesn't it make it better to imagine that they are sleeping people? Not just mean, evil, horrible, monstrous. Your mind creates all of these constructs that creates the world you see, as you know, because Elena's been reading bits and pieces of my lessons through A Course in Miracles. You see a horrible world when you have horrible thoughts in your mind. When you have beautiful thoughts in your mind, you see a glorious world filled with the beauty of God. And as this is a reflection of you, because you are a reflection of God, the beauty you see in the world is the beauty you are within. We wish to come today to tell you some things, some messages. I am with some of my brothers, some of the people that you call disciples. My brother Peter is here with me. My brother Paul is here with me. And several others. Peter Simon is here with me. Mother Mary is here with me. Mary Magdalene is here with me. We are here day and night, giving you from our light what you need to jump and rise up, because we're not going to let you fall. You are the awakened ones and the awakening ones. We want you to know that we're here. We love you. We are able to be at your side day or night. If you need to call upon us, do so. Call us. Use our expertise in these matters. Now, not all of my disciples became spiritual masters, but now that they have been in heaven on the other side, as you call it, they have learned quite a bit. They have a lot of knowledge. If you feel closer to one of them than you do to me or Mary Magdalene or my mother, Mary, we are all here for you. We're praying for you and sending you energy, and we aren't the only ones. Indeed, all of heaven is praying and waiting. Honestly, this is the hottest show in town. To coin one of your earthly phrases, one of your more modern phrases, as Elena would say, we're eating popcorn and watching the show. We're doing much more than that, though. We're not passively sitting by. We are not idly waiting to see what happens with curiosity, without a stake in the matter at hand, because we're actually beaming love through our hearts, our hands, our heads. We're all beaming love and light, beauty and joy, all of the positive emotions and vibrations at you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the Heaven Channel, all heaven, all the time. To coin another modern day phrase in your colloquialisms, we, all of us, all of the people who have died, are sending you our highest vibration, our highest quality, highest possible energy. Because the 3 days are coming upon you. You will feel that you are stuck in a void. At first, you might get a glimmer of fear or panic or confusion. That will quickly pass because you will be given the joy of pure love as all will be washed away. Pulses of white light from the great divine will start permeating your bodies, permeating each individual cell. These beams of light will start to fill in the darkness. Little by little, you won't see it at first. It will look like little filaments, little bits and pieces, almost like wires and dots, atoms, molecules, whatever you want to call it. It's going to look like teeny tiny bits and pieces and shards, lines, almost like fiber optic cables is what he's showing me, guys. Have you guys ever seen those toys you could get at like the scientific-y gift stores where the fiber optic cables are like white, but at the ends they're glowing different colors, like fuchsia, blue, green, yellow, and they change colors? They're very, very thin. He's showing me something like that, but it's much, much thinner. And go ahead, Brother Yeshua. This is indeed the threads that make up the fabric of the universe. You will not see it with your eyes, yet your third eye, or your spirit bodies, your spirit light bodies. Everything in your world around you, the matrix, that many of you have been calling it, is going to be reworked. The world is going to be rebuilt. Those of you who are ascending will be living in the rebuilt world. When a schematic is over, you might not throw away the blueprints, you just tuck them away, and you come out with the new schematic, and you build that. This is pretty much no different. We are going to be very close to you at this time. We're going to love you. We're going to send our best love. Your holy guardian angels will be with you, your spiritual teams, masters of light that you most relate to, It's okay if I'm not the one you relate to. Everybody has a different way, a different guidance, spiritual master, and spiritual path. We all work in conjunction with each other up here in the higher realms. We work with the Arcturians, the Andromedans. We work with everybody of high vibration. Not only is the whole world watching, after the 3 days of darkness, you'll be able to watch again. When in the darkness, you're not going to be able to see. But you're not going to be able to panic either. Not after the first few minutes. You're going to feel safe, cocooned, loved. A lot of you will think that it was just a crazy dream. After 3 days, you're going to shake it off. Remember to drink water. You're going to have to realign your forms, your crystalline forms. You're going to need some water. This will lubricate your new bodies, your joints, everything. Each individual strand of DNA is transforming. When you sleep, imagine it's as if you are a butterfly, but you're still yet a caterpillar in a cocoon. And when you sleep, your body is transforming and you don't even know. The butterfly wakes up one day, gets really hungry and says, "What am I doing in this shell?" It cuts its way out and it leaves the shell. And it dries its wings and says, "I feel strange. I have to eat and I have to drink." And it looks around and sees its beautiful wings. What a thrill it must be for a butterfly to be a butterfly and to see these big glorious wings. And now you have this new skill. Well, you're not going to be in a real cocoon, nor will you grow psychedelic, colorful butterfly wings. But it's not going to be any less remarkable, and I can't really explain it. But what's coming is powerful, unique, the best show on earth. Apologies to P.T. Barnum. He said it was the greatest show on earth. Well, P.T. Barnum is watching with us, and he knows that even he could not have topped what you are about to accomplish. This is a great feat. A lot of it you don't even have to focus on. You can't grow your own DNA. You can't transform your cells yourself. The coding is already there, and then it's just being activated by the light. Just the way that a seed grows when it's activated by the sunlight, and it transforms itself from a seed to a beautiful plant, to a beautiful tree. Then it produces fruit. Well, that's you. You're going to be transformed. But the fruits of your labor will be all of your creative endeavors. You're not going to have to worry as much. Everything is coming your way. Beings of light, as well as beings from other, the same dimension, 5th, sometimes 7th or 9th, sometimes 11th. If you guys have your vibrations raised enough, you're going to meet beings from the 11th dimension. But there are people standing by waiting to give you instructions on how to build new, machines. Okay, Brother Yeshua, I think her name was Tasha, was talking to somebody. She was channeling. Yesterday I watched it, and she said we're going to have replicators for food. But what else besides that will we have? Well, you already have machines that control the weather, or at least the government does. What if you could control the weather surrounding you at all times? You'll have an alarm, tells you when everything needs watering. Well, you can go to bed and allow the rain to fall at that time. It's not going to throw anything out of balance. It will make everything very balanced. It's not going to matter. But what if it was beautiful and nice all the time, and it rained at night when it needed to? Maybe in the early morning when everyone's still asleep. In the late afternoon after everyone's come home from work is when it will rain. Can you imagine being able to control the weather around your house, around your person? Saving money on umbrellas. That was me, not Yeshua. Sorry, brother. He says, I'm used to your antics by now, little sister. I appreciate it. It's okay. I appreciate your humor, he says. Thank you. Thank you, brother. What else? What other technologies? What else do we have? He's showing me something that's silver. I don't know what this is. Okay. Oh. He's showing me something that not only, like the thing that controls the weather outside the house, but something that controls everything inside the house, your temperature, your climate. Oh. He says not only are there going to be replicators for humans, just like on Star Trek, where you go tell it what to make and it makes it. But there's going to be technology for pets, so you don't have to worry about leaving them home in the day. When the pets will learn how to bark, but the machine can also read your pet's scan, your pet's body, and your pets are going to be healthier because it will tell what your pet needs. Dogs like to eat, and they eat nervously sometimes. So if they go to the machine and bark because they're hungry, or they touch it with their paw, the machine will scan them. And if they're low on a certain vitamin or mineral, a food that will be kind of what they need will come out. That is so cool. That is so cool. And now he's showing me something else. This is weird. Something that will hydrate our bodies. There's like a force field kind of around our bodies that will pull in the moisture in the air, and we will absorb it through our skin when we need. He says, yeah, you won't be so thirsty so much. You'll still drink water, but not as much as you did before. When you need less water, it will help the world's supply of water to increase. The amount of drinking water will increase. Your world is going to be getting better. Okay. He's showing me that when the extraterrestrials come, our space brothers come, they're going to have a way of cleaning up all of the plastic in the ocean. He's mentioning this because right before I came onto the show tonight, I read an article that they just took 40 billion tons of debris out of the ocean between Hawaii and California in the plastic floating island, and they're going to be doing more. They have a bunch of cleanup crews, and I was very excited about that. I was going to mention that to you guys, and Brother Yeshua reminded me of that. And so what he just showed me is that extraterrestrials have a way of using their tractor beams to pull out the debris out of the ocean, and they're going to transform it and transmute it into something more useful. See, I was thinking we could put it through 3D printers and print shoes and purses and t-shirts and recycle the plastic. And people could pay like $30 or $40 for a t-shirt that's never going to ruin. They have a way of making shirts out of plastic now. I don't know if you guys know that. And a lot of this is nylon. It's not just plastic in the ocean. And it was my idea. So, but I like the idea of taking everything out by the tractor beams. All right, Brother Yeshua, we're at 40 minutes. Are we going to do this again? Yes, of course, sister. Of course. He says, we're old friends. I am never going to leave your side. I'm glad. And this goes the same for all of you listening. I am Brother Yeshua. I am your brother, always, forever. I love each and every one of you. You don't have to be religious or Christian. I wasn't even a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian to listen to my words, or to feel close to me, or to love me. I am just a man who learned the spiritual truths through very much hard work and dedication to the one will, the great divine. You are in the same position I was. So it took you a few years longer than me. That's okay. No one's counting the time. Time doesn't even count in the upper realms. You had your karma and your experiences and everything mapped out and planned out, and we gave you enough time to get through all the things you planned. You yet still have plans, but they're going to be very easy to implement after the 3 days of darkness comes and goes. You will no longer feel duality. The world of duality will be the only thing missing from your lives. You won't have the need to be attached to objects. You won't feel harried or angry over money. You won't feel worried. You won't feel worried about having the little pieces of paper in your hand, as Elena was saying yesterday about money. It's not going to concern you nearly as much as it did. Love and generosity will flow through the hearts of all, men and women and children, even the babies, even the animals. I can't really give much more of this away right now because of time constraints, which is ironic to me. I come from a place where there is no time, or very little time. We don't think about it anyway. Everything goes very slowly. It's wonderful. You could get anything and everything done you need to. We are beaming love and light to you right now. You're going to listen to this recording in your future, but to our reality, there is no future or past. All time and places now. We know who's going to listen to this recording. We love you. Thank you. Thank you for listening today. We need to reach you in your hearts and your souls. Believe the thoughts and feelings and dreams you're having about the ascension. It's real. You're not crazy. You're not in a negative space when this is coming through to you. You are in the most positive, most real space you can be. Real reality is way different than what you've been imagining. Set aside your judgments, because your judgments are entrapments to keep you held back. We want you to understand that if you approach this with the mind of an innocent newborn babe, it's going to go much easier and faster for you. If you accept everything and look at every experience as a delight, the pain is almost gone. Don't worry about the pain. We know some of you are feeling pain in your back and in your skeletal structures. You're having pains in your immune system, still working out the bugs, the kinks, the details. And your immune systems are going haywire right now. With allergies, colds, seems like you have the flu, but then the next day you're better, but you weren't really sick, but you had all the symptoms of it. This is just the immune system adjusting itself. The bones are realigning to the new higher frequency and vibration of becoming crystalline structures. You're not going to be see-through, mind you, but you can be a lot more shiny. Your skin is going to have a different feel and appearance. Your colored auras will start to show on your skin. Brother Heshwa, is that when I saw my hands blue? Yes, indeed. Your skin turned a different color for a moment. But you see it with your higher 8th chakra, your higher eyes, your higher vision. You were in a higher state of vibration, that's why you saw that. See, because brother, I thought I was dead, and, for a moment I'm like, wait a minute, did I die? This doesn't look healthy. You'll start to use the discernment. You're going to start to understand. Sometimes your skin's going to look very, very pink, like pulsating ultraviolet pink. Sometimes it'll be green. Start to notice it with your higher vision. This is going to be happening a lot more. People will start to look to you like the colors they are inside. This is going to be very interesting. This is the fun part of the experiment. Yay! All right. Don't forget that we are here. We're loving you in every moment, each and every moment, each and every one of you. Don't doubt for a second that you are special. You are important. You are loved. Do not put yourself in a position to feel that others can tell you things that you don't know, because you do know everything. If you turn to people who are acting as current leaders or way showers, don't give your power away. Use the information to bolster the information you already have inside. Use it as a confirmation or an affirmation of what you already know to be true. Only take the information that resonates with your soul, with your heart. Only take the information that you know is right for you. Different people will have different experiences. and different ideas, and that's okay. Everybody is still learning. No one's ever done this before. It's going to be a little hard, but a lot of fun. And then after it's over, it's not going to ever be over. But once you reach the other side of this precipice, you're going to have a much broader perspective, much more increase in abilities and knowledge, much more confidence, much more peace of mind. You will be able to create whatever you want, and everything is going to flow very rapidly for you. He's showing me, because I'm on the beginning of and I'm only making about $1 a day right now. He says, don't worry, it's going to happen. And he's showing me anyone who has businesses or ideas to make money, even if you're not making anything now, when we reach the other side of this, things will flow. The things, persons, situations, and circumstances, everything's going to flow to meet your needs easily and without much effort, he's saying. You have to become your own beacon, lighthouse, and your own magnet to attract the things that you think about the most. You're not going to any longer be distracted by negativity. Therefore, everything will be much more rapid and just quick like this. Just boom, boom, boom. You're not going to draw negative circumstances that hold you back, because you've already graduated from learning all of those lessons. You're going away from the world of duality filled with lessons and karmic battles. You're moving into a situation where it's going to be oneness, cooperation, beauty and joy, and creation. You'll create alone, you'll create with others, you'll create collectively. It's all going to be about creating. Making art, making music, making love, making joy, storytelling, making time for the loved ones. Whether the loved ones are your family and friends, your furry, four-legged critter friends, or even bees or blades of grass. You're going to feel love from the sky, from the earth, and it's going to be palpable. Not where you think now that you imagine you feel the love, and then you question if it's really there. You're going to know it. Every cell in your body's going to know it. That's what you have in store. And that is what we came to tell you tonight. Where are we, brother? Where are we at? Are we at 65% yet? Yes, you're about to be at 66%. So you are very, very close to everything aligning just so. The 3 days of darkness is upon us very quickly. This is why we felt the urgency to come with this message now. Everything is aligning. Tomorrow, the solar eclipse is going to bring a great deal of energy. It's going to be a wild ride after that. Don't ever underestimate the power of the heavens to move the earth beneath your feet. And with that, we will retreat for the night at least from this message, but we're always with you. Call upon us in your hour of need or curiosity, or when you feel lonely or scared. It doesn't matter. We're here for every single one of you. We love you. We love everyone in the collective, sleeping or awakening. He says, now I must go, and I wish you peace. And he says, remember, that is the peace that passes beyond all understanding, which you'll soon learn on a very palpable level. And we are so excited for you. Okay. He's like bowing. I'm bowing to him too. I love you, brother. He says, I love you too, little sister. All right. I'll talk to you later. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I have nothing more to add to that. That was awesome, right? All right, I'm signing off with peace and love and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.